You wanna say?
You
Intro?
can start.
Hello and welcome back. Whoa, well, today we are going to do a tasting test of our first video on this channel. It's been quite a while, so since we started doing this wine, it's been around 10-11 months, so around a year. It's been sitting for a while now, and we decided to try it and see how it goes. In case you didn't follow and don't know exactly what is the wine, there is links in the descriptions. Feel free to visit them. We exactly explain what we've done in the first steps and what we've done afterwards. But essentially, this is a wine made from store-bought juice. The starting gravity of this wine was 1.138. And it finished somewhere around 1.040, which is fairly high, but it's not a big issue for us because we do prefer wines sweeter. Additionally, as the second step, what we did, we actually, what do we know?
Add spices.
Yes, we actually added spices. So we thought that initially we will do just a basic wine, but when we tasted it, we decided why not? Let's go for it and add some spices. So what we added for the secondary, we added a clove, one piece. We added 5 pieces of allspice and one cinnamon stick, and it sits around for like 2-3 weeks. Then we racked it and we bottled it, right? And well, there it is. That's the only bottle left, by the way. So there is not gonna be tasting after 2, 3, 4 years because it's all gone. I keep track here on my inventory tracker, and unfortunately, only one is left. We'll try to keep more wines in the future, so we can do a long-term tasting as well after a few years, maybe. But it's hard to resist when something is decent. But again, we have not tried this in a while because I think I've drunk those like in the second week after bottling, and I left only one. So
That's always what happens.
not always, but yeah, it happens. Yeah, so what we'll do, we will rate the wine. Now we are not professional wine tasters. We sometimes like our vocabulary, let's say, lacks when it comes to description of wines, especially. But I have prepared some instructions here how to do it as pleasant for everyone. So we do the best way describing what it actually is, and we're going to follow 5 simple steps. First, of course, appearance of the wine, then the smell of the wine, then the structure, flavors, and at the end we'll give you our overall impressions, maybe some rating in scale 1 to 10. And yeah, let's jump straight into video. It's a fun one, so let's go. Let's pour the wine. It's again, okay.
No
Good
pop.
sign. No pop, no nothing. I'm not smelling yet. I don't want to. I want it to be a surprise.
Did we pasteurize it?
We did pasteurize the wine. Yes.
So it shouldn't pop at all.
What?
So it shouldn't pop.
Shouldn't pop at all. Yeah, if it popped, that would be an issue.
Yeah.
We've had such issues before in the past, but that's another video. Okay, that's already way too much wine anyway.
That's your glass.
There's almost nothing left. And by the way, there is almost, I don't see any sediment, by the way, at the bottom,
That's
which
good.
is a good sign, of course, because it did sit for a while before we even bottled it. But nevertheless, let's first look at the clarity. So when we look at the wine, it's fairly clear. I wouldn't say it's very clear. I mean, you can see through. It has a nice clarity to it. I would say maybe like a 6 or 7.
Yeah.
It's quite nice. I mean, again, there was even no sediment at the bottom, which is really nice. So when you pour the wine, you don't have to worry about the sediment going into your wine, into your glass, because who wants to drink sediment? I mean, you could, but it's yucky. The color itself, what do you think about the color? I mean,
It's very bright.
it's quite nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
I mean, it looks like something mix of a juice and wine.
It looks more like cherry from the color because it's very red.
Let's smell it. Sniff. Okay, the first thing that comes through when I smell it is the spice. I think this is pretty strong spice smell, to be honest. It's pretty intense, like pretty heavy aroma to it, like at least in my mind. But all that goes through is no grape, no nothing. It's just the spice. What do you think?
I feel like I smell a very strong sting. It's very sting smell. It stings in the nose, basically. But I also smell.
Yeah.
It smells like mulled wine.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, yeah, what it is grape wine with spices, which is essentially mulled wine is heating up
Yes.
grape wine with spices.
Smells like Christmas.
Speaking about strength of this alcohol, this wine is 13% alcohol. I just checked here in our notes because, of course, we did calculations. So it's a fairly high percentage wine. I mean, when you go to the shop, usually what you get, I think, is between like 7 to 9, 10% alcohol, right? I feel like 13 is already, it is pretty high. I mean, it's pretty high for sure. I mean, it's pretty intense.
But it smells like Christmas, like on the Christmas market.
Like Christmas market, yeah, that is a good description. I mean, if someone heated it up and poured in those, cups and gave it to you in the Christmas market, that's exactly how it smells. The only difference is this one is not hot; it's room temperature. Right?
But we have the device to warm it up if you want.
We do have a device. Yeah, maybe we should. Let's see.
To be honest, the splash won't make any difference when you pull it.
No, there is no left. I mean, yeah, we can heat it up on the oven. All right, so we sniffed enough. Let's give it a first taste. I'm worried. I want it to be good. Not that we have more, so we don't have more anyway. But I really want it to be good. I'm not sure. Let's see how it is. Ugh. Oh wow! Oh wow! Okay, step by step. We have here even our nose, as I mentioned. First is acidity, which is mouth-watering feel to it, and I have to say, my mouth waters a lot, like a lot after you have a taste. It's acidic in a good way. It makes me want to drink more, if you know what I mean. No? What do you think?
The first thing I tasted was actually the spices.
The spices.
It was very intense, like
The spices.
cinnamon and.
Yeah. And then the second we have tannins, which is essentially a drying texture or bitterness. And I have to say, it doesn't have much bitterness to it at all, in my opinion. It's not very dry at all. Um, the spices, I think, just come through so much. I mean, again, they dominate this wine a lot. I mean, we kept the spices for like 2 weeks, I think, or 3 weeks. But yeah, it locked in a good way. Because again, I'm saying the spices are dominant texture, dominant flavor, not texture, but the flavor, and it's a good thing. Like, I love spice wine. I love mulled wine, I think, more than non-wine, grape wine, right? The only thing I like about wintertime is mulled wine. I even bought store-bought mulled wine here, like 2 days ago, was it?
Yeah.
Just because it's not great, but just because I like it. I'm probably gonna have some even today because I don't want to drink my good wine. I want to keep them for next reviews for you guys. Yeah.
I have to take a bigger sip to make it more nasty.
Bigger sip. Yeah. The next step here we have alcohol, so the heat. How much does alcohol come through? Do you taste a lot of alcohol?
The first sip, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to say it's 13.2% alcohol. 30% alcohol is pretty high, but you really don't taste it. Yeah, you don't taste it at all.
I taste it in the back when I swallow. In the back of my throat, it's a bit stinging. But last time we tried, I said that it's very acidic and doesn't taste very well.
Yes, we will go through overall reactions with the next step in the end.
Okay.
And we will tell you guys also, because when we tried it last, we did rating 1 to 10 as well. And we will compare this rating to the new rating, but it's going to be in the end of the video.
All I taste is the first whoosh of taste is the spices.
Right.
When I swallow it in my mouth, and when I swallow in the back of my throat, I have the alcohol, but it's really a very minute.
That's fair.
It's a very pleasing taste.
And the last part of this part would be sweetness. How sweet is it? Is it sweet from sugar or from the any other sources? I would say it's fairly sweet. I mean, again, it's difficult to describe when you have such spiced wine with heavy spice taste, but it's definitely on the sweeter side. I mean, we've done a lot of wines, a lot of them sweet, a lot of them dry, and this dry wine, I don't think I would enjoy as much as enjoying this one.
Mhm.
You don't taste the sweetness as much because of the spices, but you know it's there. Because if it was dry, you would, yeah, I would not drink it. I think. Yeah, I'm not a fan of dry wines.
Mm.
What do you think?
I mean, I estimate the sweetness by how much I cringe when I drink, and I don't cringe at all when I drink this. So it's definitely
Good.
too sweet enough for me. So
Sweet enough.
I don't know if it was a dry wine and we just put the spices in because it was too dry. Was it that?
This here?
Yeah.
No, this wine was actually 1040,
So
roughly.
very.
And we added spices on 1040. We were completely fine with it, and that's why you pasteurize, of course. So this pretty high, pretty high gravity, a pretty sweet wine.
I
when
think
you think
we
about it.
think we added the spices because we wanted to cancel out some of the sweetness because it stalled, right?
40 is pretty sweet, yeah.
Yeah.
It did stall.
So
Although we do like sweet wines, but our sweet
40
spot
was
usually
very
is like
sweet.
30 or 25. 40 was maybe a bit too sweet, so
Yeah.
we did add spices. But now with this being 40 and spices, I mean, it's perfect.
It's definitely. I feel when you warm it up and drink it warm, you get tipsy very very fast.
Yeah, for sure. I have to say that from my side also, one thing I definitely want to add is that I think aftertaste it's pretty interesting because when you take a sip of the wine, what you feel is this fairly nice, I mean very nice spice texture and spice flavor. It's fairly acidic as it goes through, as you swallow it, and as you know, as you breathe, you can feel a bit of the heat on the back of your throat, as you mentioned before. So there is definitely some heat to it, some alcohol to it, because again, it is 14 to 13%. So it's, in my opinion at least, the wine is transforming quite nicely, and it's fairly complex. But again, this is essentially all it is. It's just grape wine with spices, right? There's only so much complexity there will be. But for what it is, yeah, it's pretty good.
When I breathe it up, I just breathe the spices up.
You
I
breathe
don't
the
even,
spices.
not even the alcohol. It's just the spices come through.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think we can maybe summarize in our own words. One thing I have written down here is the quality. How much would I pay for this wine if I had to buy it? That's a good question. We could maybe try and answer.
I have no idea about wine prices, so you be the judge of that.
When I used to buy wines, because I like wines, I mean, I would buy like a medium to cheaper shelf. I would never go for more expensive. So, I would buy wines between 5 to 15 euros maximum. 15 is already quite expensive, but depends on which ones you want. But for this one, I would definitely pay on the like 15 or more. Like it's definitely better than what we have on the shelves. I mean, you cannot really compare it because this wine compared to anything on the shelves, it's just different. This is much more fruity. This is much more juicy. This is much more spicy. Well, spiced to anything that's out there. It's nothing like a commercial wine. If you had this and commercial wine next to it, you wouldn't think both are wines. There is a big difference, and I get that maybe not for everyone, right? But yeah, it's definitely for me. I definitely enjoy it. What do you think?
I agree because
Well, you
I'm
don't
just
really drink wine
I
from there,
don't really
so
drink wine. The only
yeah.
time I use wine is for cooking or baking.
That's true. That's true. Damn, we're gonna drink it soon. Right. So we promised to give you some data on what it was last time. Let me just open here. Right. So what happened is that we tasted this wine 6 months ago, roughly 7 months ago, actually, a while ago, 6-7 months ago, and we rated it back then. Again, honestly, in scale 1 to 10, and you rated it at 4, and you said it was strong acidic taste, and that you cannot taste the grapes or spices almost at all. And my rating 1 to 10 was 5, and I said it's good. I would drink it, but it's not as good as some other spiced wines we did. And this was from 7 months ago review.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely above average now, and it's very, very interesting to see how much the taste changes in just 6 or 7 months. It's really amazing. I would drink that actually, and I would enjoy it. The one 6 months ago, I would not have enjoyed.
7 months ago, yeah. I
7.
mean, you did 4, right? We again, we really care to do as honest as possible because we like to see how much the wine changes over time. And this, I think, I mean, I give it 5. It's that we're gonna say in a second what we think it's now, but yeah, it's I think it's much better. I mean, I said again that I don't taste spices. You don't taste spices. You don't taste grape. What do you?
Now it's completely the other way. Now it's just
Opposite.
all spices, and in the back,
Yeah.
it's a bit of the alcohol taste.
Yeah, and that's, I think, lesson for all of us, because especially when I go on Reddit or many different places, I see people, making wine and drinking them after 2 weeks. I do it as well, but like just to have it wine, just to have something to drink. But I mean, this 7 months ago was really not that great, from at least the notes, because I don't remember the tasting itself. But now it's just feels like different wine then, because there is no way I'm gonna give it 5 again. I mean, it's hey, it seems like it's just different wine. It's definitely the same though. It says here even on the thing, it says first wine, as in first for the video. So it is the same wine. Yeah. I'm surprised we rated it so low. I wish I remembered exactly how it felt when I tasted it. I mean, again, would drink it, but it's not as good as others. I mean, yeah, now this compared to all other wines I've drank so far, or spiced wines, this seemed to be the best one. Just because it's aged. I mean, it's changed so much. It's crazy.
Moral of the story: don't give up hope. Because the first time we made this wine, it stalled, and we left it for like 2 weeks and 2 months because we hoped it would start again.
Yes.
Then we added spices in hope that it improves the taste or it starts fermenting again. Nothing happened. We just bottled as it is.
We
as it
always
was.
hope that it starts fermenting, because at this point we knew it stalled.
Yeah.
We knew it wouldn't happen, but it was a bit too sweet, and that's why I think we decided to add spices.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then we bottled it and just said, okay, we just let it sit and do nothing with it. And then we tried it, and it was horrible. And now we try it, and it's amazing. I would just say, don't give up hope until it's vinegar. Don't give up hope on your wine.
Yeah, if it's vinegar, I mean, you can still use it, I guess.
For salad.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was horrible, because my rating 5 out of 10, it's not horrible, it's just good, okay wine. Yours was 4 out of 10, which is less than average. Yeah, horrible would be 1 to 3, right? I don't think 4 is horrible, but you definitely did not enjoy it.
Yeah, I would not drink it on my own. Like, I would not say, oh, I want this glass of wine.
Yeah, but now
it's like, I wish we had more.
I think that's a lesson for me as well, because again, I keep saying don't drink the wines early, let them sit. But it's some of them are quite enjoyable early as well. But yeah, it's just, this is so much better than it was. I wish I had more bottles. I'm angry at myself now.
We have a lot of fermenters for you. We can make 5 more wine.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we probably should. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's think about maybe the number. What scale 1 to 10?
Another point maybe to think about, because here we put the spices basically in the secondary fermentation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other wine, we made it in the beginning. Which one do you think tastes better?
Oh, that's a good question. So I remember, I think when I was drinking, because this was the first wine and only wine, I think we add spices in the secondary.
Yes.
We always put spices in first. And after we put spice in secondary, then we tasted, I think even off camera, we said like, ooh, that is weird. That's why we rated it so low, because we didn't enjoy it as much. And back then, my thought process was that I prefer put spices in the first, in the primary fermentation, because in secondary it wasn't so good. But now that it's at 7 months and it's so amazing, then now I'm thinking that maybe it is a good idea to put spices in the secondary and not in primary fermentation.
We have 4 fermenters. We can make an experiment.
We could, yeah.
And let's see what tastes better. Because now I just from those 2 examples, I would say the secondary tastes definitely.
Yeah, spices in secondary is way to go if you let it sit. Because again, 7 months ago it was below average, and now it's up there, like up there, right? So it could be that it's not a big difference as long as we let it sit either way. But again, letting wine sit, it's aging like a fine wine. That's the saying, right? And it really does help. Like, please do not drink your wine straight away. Just let it sit. It's crazy difference.
Do we still have the other spiced wine test bottle here?
Yeah, I mean, you have that. It's white spiced wine. I see here already. There is a spiced wine sitting there as well for our other video, but it has not been a year one yet. I think it's been like 8 months maybe or so.
Let's wait and see if this actually, like, maybe we say the same about this, and so it doesn't matter. But
unfortunately, the spiced wine we have also is 1 bottle left. The other one. Yeah. Sorry, but we will keep it for sure for a tasting. But yeah, that's a good thing actually to watch out. I am shocked. Well, okay, this video is gonna be way too long. We need to wrap up. 1 to 10. I need 1 more sip before I make a decision.
He just wants to drink out of it.
Oh my god. Right, so in some previous videos we did mention that like 5 is a good grape wine, and that's it, and then we go higher or lower. Yeah, I cannot. I mean, it is good grape wine, spiced grape wine, but I will first give my rating. I think I'm ready. 1 more sip. I mean, yeah, yeah.
I can start.
We can on 3. We can give the rating, and then we will. Whoever is higher or lower will go first. Okay. Because I don't want to be biased. We want to eliminate the bias. So on 3, you ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. 8.5. 7.
Yes.
Okay, so I did 8.5.
Okay, I'm not going by point. I'm just saying 7 because I mean, it's not. I'm not usually drinking wine like on my own terms. I can see myself.
That's me usually.
Yeah, I can see myself saying on my own terms, "Oh, I would like a glass of this." By from the other, I don't know if I had any other wine higher than 5 or 6. The other ones were just like, when you come and ask me, I would take a glass, sure, but I would not. But
you don't really drink alcohol in the first place at all.
Yes, but this one is really nice.
Yeah. I mean, considering you rated 4, and now it's 7 in 7 months' time, that's a huge leap. That's like double the the points almost. That's it's pretty good. Now I had rated 5 and I rated 8.3, so it's 3.5 higher, also almost double. Less than that. And yeah, I was hesitant between 8.5 and 9. I don't think it's a 10. I think there is a lot you could improve. I think you can let it sit another 6 months. And damn it, if we had another bottle, I would let it sit 6 months or 1 year, and maybe then would be 9.5 or 10 maybe, because I am 99% sure at this point we'll get so much better over time, if even more.
I don't even think we can reach a 10 by store-bought juice, to be honest, because the juices are just
good. That's true as
processed.
Well. That's true as well. But I mean, based on what it is, which is store-bought grape wine that's stalled, that we add the spices to, and it was just below average more than half a year ago, and now it's just incredible. I mean, I'm gonna cry afterwards that I don't have more bottles when we go off the video because I'm so upset already. just to think about it, yeah, it sucks. I wish I had more, but yeah, I am really, really surprised. When I started the video, I opened our inventory tracker, our spreadsheet, and I just read through the comments and what we did last time, and I just saw this 4 and 5, and I'm like, oh no, it's going to suck.
We will suffer here.
Yeah, I really was unsure. But damn it, that's good. It's just my expectations were low, but I mean, that is really, really good. I think that's what best spice wine I've had yet, and I'm saying it because I think the other one's probably gonna be as good. We will see when the video comes. I think the secret is just you have to age it. That's really what I believe.
Mm.
Um,
And once this is empty, you have to go to your shitty store-bought wine.
yeah, and unfortunately that's the last bottle, so I'm gonna have to change from that we have 0 bottles left. I'm gonna have to make new one. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. So if you don't know what's the recipe exactly or how we did it, go check the other videos. The first one, the second one, we explain everything. We show step by step. We are honest in the videos. We say everything that's out there. And yeah, just tell us if you did video like this or video if you did wine like this, if you enjoyed it. And keep in mind, let your wines sit. It really pays off. Do you have any final comments?
No.
All right.
You said it all.
Said it all. Damn. Yeah, thank you for watching. Please leave comments, like, subscribe, anything, whatever you whatever you want. And we will see you next time, whatever it is, to taste or to make more wine. Bye bye.
Cheers.
Cheers. Damn, it's good.
That's really good, yeah.
Oh my god.